Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of the United States of a Movie Podcast. We're the movie podcast that makes every Monday a fun day as we get together and we talk movies, but we have a point. Here at the United States of a Movie, we're trying to find one movie to define each state in these United States. We've done one trip around the states. We're currently on our second, and today we stop off in Canada. No, we don't. We stop off in Vermont, which seems to be as close as you can get to Canada without actually being Canada.
Vermont is the Minnesota of Canada.
Honestly, with one of these movies, Vermont is the Canada of Canada, which we will get into. But before we get there, of course, we've got to welcome back my amazing co-host, as always, in Arizona right now. Though he was in Texas last week with me. Ryan Sandler, buddy, welcome back to the show.
It's great to be here. And if you don't mail me those fucking sunglasses, I'm going to be furious.
They have been all over my Instagram.
Yeah.
Actually, I love those glasses.
They're great.
Yep, you're never getting them back.
I realized because it was funny. We were on the way to the airport and your buddy had called to mention that you'd left your glasses at their house. I was like, what kind of fucking moron leaves their glasses at someone's house? It's you stupid idiot. And then I walk through the airport and I usually have my sunglasses on my head. I'm like, oh no, I've been cursed. And you live like an hour and a half away from the airport. So it's not, I was going to call you and be like, I left something at your house. We got to run back there. Went and immediately bought another pair. I'm like, keep them, wear them in good health. They're yours now.
They are fantastic. It was great having you here, dude. Yeah, it was. They are cursed. Well, good. That'll be great. Like this year's already gone so well for everybody. But that curse hopefully will be lifted because also sitting as always in the center of very own video store in Los Angeles, California, Will Hirsch. Welcome back to the show.
Great to be here. I didn't even want to go to Texas, really. Like, it's it doesn't even sound like it was fun to hang out with you guys. I was more than happy to be home with family during a personal tragedy. Much better use of my time. So glad you guys had fun swapping sunglasses.
We were texting on the United States of a Movies plural group text and completely forgot that you weren't on that one.
Funny how that happens.
Well, I'll tell you though, we all were able to go through the journey of this week together, where we head back to Vermont, where last time somehow Super Troopers was our champion.
Inexplicable.
We are so good at this.
I love how every time we circle back around, we're like, what were we thinking?
How?
And it made sense at the time. We'll see if it continues to make sense, because this time around, we've done something that we've never done before, is we put a champion movie up against its sequel. Who wants to take this one? Who wants to take this one and introduce it?
Yeah, I know very little about this, but I know it was a Kickstarter-funded idea. We picked 2018's question mark.
You got it.
Super Troopers 2 Electric Boogaloo.
A sequel to the 2001 movie. So, 17 years in the making. And funnily enough, just as we are recording this, I didn't send it to you, but I saw it yesterday, was the very first shot. Yep. I saw it this morning, actually, on the way to breakfast. The very first shot from set of Super Troopers 3, which is bonkers. Absolutely
crazy
bonkers. But yeah, this movie was sort of like caught in development hell. It's like Broken Lizard, like their comedy crew. They've done a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows and things like that. Jay Chandrasekhar, he's like the star director. And it went up for sort of crowdfunding, picked up $2 million in seed money in the first 24 hours, got about just under $5 million overall. They were able to get sort of funding from that. And then, they made it. It made almost its whole budget back the very first weekend. It made $32 million. And it's very silly, is the best way of putting it. It's a very silly movie.
Going into this movie, like, with some reservations, I was kind of expecting to hate it because I loved the first one so much. It was such a product of his time. I remember getting really stoned and seeing it in the theater, which was like a core memory for me. And I was worried that this was going to take away from that. I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed enough of this movie.
Yeah, I think I had the same exact expectations where I was like, a Kickstarter funded
It
legacy
kind of felt like
sequel.
that, right? It felt like the
Yeah.
movie itself felt very crowdfundery, which is
Yeah.
a strange thing to say.
Yeah,
It's got this like air around it. I don't know.
it had that feel, but like I was telling you guys, I was watching this movie like just I will not laugh. I won't do it. And I failed a couple
Yeah.
times. I was like, damn it,
It's
they got
the thing
me.
that's the thing is like the group of all of them together is just inherently funny. Like they have such
Yep.
great chemistry together.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like it is like just six best mates. It's like they've just been hanging around their entire lives. They have great rapport. They get great timing with each other. I know I've seen this movie before. The only part of the movie I remembered was the opening scene with Stifler
It's
and
really
David
good.
Wayne's Jr. Was that's the only
Damn.
scene I remember,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
everything
Which is
else
funny
after
because I
that
was
was
like,
new.
I was trying to remember how the first one ended. I'm like, wait, didn't they become cops? Like that was the
Yeah,
whole thing.
Right.
they
And
became
then,
the city cops.
which
So
they
after the
then
whole
immediately
rivalry thing.
launched. It's great. He's like, yeah, we used to be cops, and then the whole thing with Fred Savage happened. I'm like, fuck, I can't wait for that payoff, which
Yeah.
was great.
You had
Yeah.
to wait
And
until like the end of the movie to
the
get it.
post-credit sequence, yeah, which
I
Yeah.
is
mean,
it was good. I
I
enjoyed
was
it.
watching this with Mrs. and until she fell asleep. But for that first sort of like hour that Mrs. was watching it, like it was kind of like it's kind of like Will describes, reluctant laughing. Of like, well,
Yeah.
not reluctant, but just like you just can't help yourself. Like, no, that's stupid.
The whole
That's
movie can be
stupid.
summed
Yeah.
up by Steve Lemmy's mangled corpse in wedged into a tree with his fucking thumbs up. Like
Yeah.
that the image of that is just so perfect for this whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the thing is, like, so I do remember in the first one, like at some points laughing so hard, like it's the bit where one of them is dressed up as a bear and looks like he's having sex with somebody, and it like I just remember at that point losing my mind. I remember the opening scene of they've done all the drugs, and it's like the
Mhm.
snozberries taste like snozberries. That they're just
Right.
being very funny, and like in the middle of it all, we've got Hannibal Lecter's version one, Brian Cox.
There's a
Just
Hannibal Lecter joke in this movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just like just the big swinging Cox is here. He's back again. And I will say it's like it's I did drift off like at one point for
Yeah.
about 10
Yep.
minutes. So when I finished the movie, I rewound it to watch the 10 minutes that I'd missed.
It's kind of got that like I was thinking about this. It's kind of got that like Reno 911 energy where you can see a version of this that works better as like an 11-minute sketch show where they're just doing bits and they pull people over, but then they have to wrap in this like heavier plot point in both they do in both of these movies where it's the first one's the drug thing and this one it's Rob Lowe doing a silly voice. But the fact
And
that guys
also a
Rob Lowe,
drug
Rob
thing.
Lowe's in this movie. Yeah, he also drug.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of faces. So essentially, the plot of the movie is that they discovered some old markers of the Canadian border and found that actually this section of Canada is actually now part of Vermont, and now they need some police to take care of it. So they bring these guys out of like retirement because they're working in construction, they're working this, that, and the other, and they all go sort of like just the band's back together and then the shenanigans begin, and then so it's essentially all of the Canadians hating them. Um,
Shenanigans?
yeah, and like, I think the funniest little Canadian joke of the whole thing is when they say sorry, and all the Canadians are like, "Oh, sorry, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
sorry?" And it was like,
Shout
okay,
out to Bruce McCullough from
Yes.
Kids in the Hall was great because the most Canadian person you can probably get for that bit.
Yeah.
But I was
It,
pleasantly surprised. Like, everyone who pops up in this movie it was a real treat to see just all of these characters. Like Jim Gaffigan. Like I think for this one, usually Lego sequels have these like kind of obnoxious callbacks to the first one. This one did it in a way that I absolutely didn't hate. Like it was kind
yeah.
of a treat to see. It wasn't because it was like they were self-aware of the shit that they were calling back, like the whole
Yeah.
chicken fucker sequel, like or excuse me, the whole meow thing with Jim Gaffigan
yeah.
Hmm.
when they're leaving. Like I do remember you, fucker. Or something. It was
Yeah.
just it was funnier than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. I think
I
that's actually the perfect review of this movie. Funnier than I thought it was going to be.
yeah, I could see your reservation. Like God, I don't want to laugh at this, but it's pretty fucking funny. Like
Yeah. Even
smiling
though
through your
it,
teeth.
yeah, even though it has even thinner of a plot than the first movie. Like we got an hour into this and I'm like, "Oh yeah, isn't there a plot going like isn't there a drug smuggling thing happening?" So there's even less effort in that portion of the movie, but I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Who gives a shit? If you're complaining about the plot in this movie,
I
you're
don't think people are going to these movies for the plot.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, like I could have, I don't know, I didn't try it stoned. You know what I mean? Like I've been
yeah,
I don't smoke the devil's lettuce anymore. So like, and these movies are very much sort of specifically catered towards that. Though I did like the bit where they are trying to figure out which drugs are which by taking the drugs was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
That's a great bit. What was the name of the estrogen pill?
Yeah, what was the name of that
Oh,
estrogen pill?
God.
flow.
I
It's
knew
like
I was gonna.
Oh
it's
yeah, flow
flows.
something.
Yeah.
But
I'll
the
He
remember
becomes addicted to it.
it.
Yeah, but then Farva is just completely paralyzed in the next scene in the cart, which was
Yeah.
pretty fucking funny. And then
Yeah.
Canadian Farva, played by Paul Walter, Academy Award winner Paul Walter
The
Hauser.
big,
Yes.
just one of the biggest actors in Hollywood now, which is
Right.
absolutely be like crazy to me. Like
But
you know, you got the guys as the Canadian Mounties doing that most ridiculous French
Yeah.
accents at the same
yeah.
time. It's again, I the thing about it
Yeah, it's
is it
Will
like
Sasso. It's Taylor Levine
Labine?
from Cabin or not Cabin in the Woods.
Tucker and Dale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, the voices were like, what is happening?
Yeah, they're just so cartoony. I love their Danny DeVito argument. Like
That
that
was great.
that killed me. Just
Yeah, there's a lot of like great. I mean, same with the first one. There's like a lot of great bits, but once you try and wrap this like sketch comedy thing with a plot, it just and the plot is holding it together. It has to rely too heavily on it. You're just kind of like, I don't care about that. I just want the little bits.
yeah, you are kind of like checking your watch to be like, okay, are we done with the plot bit? But luckily that's such a small part of
Yeah, it
this
doesn't matter.
movie. It
Didn't
literally
rem-
I think it makes up like 4 minutes of
it
runtime.
didn't hinder my enjoyment of it. And but then you like because in the first one you forget like all that till the very end where they actually become like you get glimpses of them being like actual good officers, kind
It-
of
It's
like
kind of
small glimpses.
yeah, it's kind of the sequel comedy movie problem, which is like the first Ace Ventura, you're like, oh my God, you were forget he's an actual
He's a
detective.
detective, right?
And then by the second one, they kind of drop a lot of
He's
that.
got spears in his thighs. Okay.
Right. You're like, okay. But so this
Yeah,
kind of has the same issue.
So glad you asked.
you crawl out of one rhinoceros asshole and the whole movie falls apart.
It's the estrogen drug from Canada was called Flova Scotia.
That's
Flova
it.
Scotia. God damn it, so good.
So stupid.
Very good.
The thing is, like, the thing about it is
The commercial for it was great
The
too.
commercial was
Commercial's great. Yeah.
and like say Rob Lowe, anytime Rob Lowe's in something, in this case he is just having like the bit where he starts speed bagging some guy's dick because he owns the brothel. And like yeah, it's like this movie, I took zero notes for this movie. I did, however, take a stunning amount of notes for the other movie that we chose this week, a movie that has consumed me throughout. I honestly I want to talk about Super Troopers 2 for 10 minutes, and I want to talk about this other movie for the rest of my life. Will, why don't you introduce the other movie that we brought to the table this week?
Man, if you know a guy named Harry, then let's talk about the trouble with him. The trouble with Harry. What the fuck did I watch? Like, what is this movie?
It's so this is a 1955 Alfred Hitchcock black comedy movie. Now, I haven't seen that much Hitchcock. I've seen Rear Window, I've seen The Birds, I've probably seen Psycho, but barely remember it because it was very young. You know, and I think like I'm kind of fascinated by Hitchcock, especially after this movie, because this movie is so bizarre. Like the way to boil down this movie is it's a movie set over one day, with the most casual set of potential murderers in the history of Vermont. A bunch of people completely unfazed. It's a comedy movie about who maybe has murdered this guy and how are we going to get away with it while just at the same time meeting people, falling in love, and everybody being just positively frothy and drippingly horny throughout the entire thing.
Yep. This is a movie I know for sure I watched because my phone was running out of battery, so I had to stop looking at it.
Oh, I was not looking at my phone. My phone was sitting there just like I had it charging so it could keep up with all the notes that I was dictating into
It's a 90-minute movie that took me 4 hours to watch.
Oh, no,
I should say I didn't dislike this movie. I did enjoy it, but I was
movie went
losing
quite quickly for me.
Oh, it's interesting.
Compared to Super Troopers 2. Super Troopers 2 kind of dragged. This movie, I was just like this the whole time. What the fuck fuck?
Why are they showing this corpse's dick again?
Like, people listening might, or watching might be like, oh, he's exaggerating. No, there's a lot of crotch shots of this corpse.
Yep.
And man,
One of
it's the
them featuring a small boy.
so there you go.
Well, honestly,
There you go,
yeah,
Republican senators.
So I don't know anything about this movie, right? So I'm going in. It's Hitchcock. Hitchcock is known for his sometimes his twists and turns, sometimes his kind of like sort of shock, or sometimes his horror or whatever. This is his one of two, they say, straight comedies. But I don't know it's a comedy going in. So I'm like, what?
It was the 50s.
Right. It's 55. Yeah. What's this movie going to be? The thing that struck me immediately is the colors of this movie were vibrant.
You could see
vivid.
all the shades of the multitude of shades of pink in all of the white actors' faces.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but
what
like,
Technicolor was made for.
The yellows and the
it was stunning. It looked
greens.
like a fucking Vermont postcard. Like it was gorgeous.
Well, it was shot. It was shot in Vermont and on sound stages, but like it had an incredible amount of just natural sort of production.
It was gorgeous, yeah.
But the way it kind of like it starts, I mean, like my third note is, it starts with a little kid, and then you hear a gunshot, and
I started getting real excited.
That's what I've got. I said, "Is this kid about to die?" Ryan squelching intensifies. I was like, "Oh shit!" And the thing is, it's a Hitchcock, so maybe it is. The other thing that caught me in the intro, credits, was introducing Shirley MacLaine.
Mm-hmm.
Who then
as the young boy.
But Shirley MacLaine, who goes on to actually win a Golden Globe for this particular movie, and then goes on
great.
to have a stellar. Yeah, she was. She's great, but so is honestly everybody in this movie. But it starts off again in Vermont with this little kid running around, comes across a dead body. The title comes up, "The Trouble with Harry," and then we are introduced to Captain Wiles, Edmund Gwenn, an English actor, speaking very English. That I was like, wait, what? Like, is this?
You're not allowed to do that.
And then it's this guy who.
What is he from Texas?
Right. But he's monologuing to himself, and that's kind of like sets kind of the precedent of this movie. As I feel that this movie could have been done on the stage. Quite easily could have been done on the stage.
I agree. At points, it felt very much like a stage production.
I mean, look, constantly feels like a stage production, but then what's not stagey about it is it's being shot really lovely, quite clearly in Vermont, with some incredible vistas and views in the background and cars and houses and everything else sort of in between. But that's where, like, I was so confused because guy comes across dead body. He's out there with Old Faithful, his rifle. He's hunting rabbits, and then we come across this body with kind of like what looks like a wound on his head, and he just assumes, oh, blast, I appear to have killed this gentleman, and he's up on the side of a hill in the country of Vermont. And then what happens is everybody from this entire
all
town
20 people in this town
happen upon this situation.
Literally stumble across this body. The guy reading the book, I was like, this is, by the seventh person, I was like, this is outrageous. Like, how far away is this? Like, where is he?
Right.
Why is this like the most common walking path for people to stumble across this corpse?
So the New Jersey Turnpike of
funny.
Vermont.
Yeah. God.
Well, it is funny, but I had to figure out that this movie was funny. Because to begin with, I was just confused, like, because he's there and he's like, oh dear, I appear to have killed a gentleman. I guess.
Bother.
Well, come on then. And he goes through the guy's pockets and find out his name is Harry. He finds a letter and he's like, oh, well, Harry, come on then. I guess I'm going to have to sort of bury, like, throw you into the trees somewhere. Someone's going to find you next year. My bad. What happened. Up walks Miss Gravely, and it's just, this scene is where I'm starting to get so confused because she's like, oh, he appears to be dead. And he's like, yes. And she's like, indeed, yes, It's like, the Family Guy spoof of British porn. Almost, like it's just, no one is reacting to the fact there's a fucking dead body. It's just, oh, how terrible.
But he uses that to navigate his way into a date with her. So that,
right.
Pretty smooth.
Well, she's
Yeah.
like, come on by for some
Gives us all hope.
blueberry muffins and a cup of tea. I mean, we're going to
Perhaps
talk
some
about
brandy
that
wine.
tea. Yes, perhaps
Yeah.
exactly. Perhaps some elderberry wine or something like that. And that's where, like, my next note is like, this woman has killed many, many people. You know, like
Right.
the general casual nature with which that woman is dealing with the dead body that this guy is attempting to throw into the trees is like, I'd be very concerned. It's like John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it later revealed to me that she is also a virgin? Question mark?
They hint
Like
at
the
that quite
implication
a
of that?
lot throughout the
He's like,
movie.
he'd be the
Yes.
first man to cross her thresholds, right? Like,
Yes, yes, that is.
Yeah.
I didn't know if she was, because she's a very old 35 years old.
43,
Yeah.
I believe, is the age that
Yeah.
they give.
Yeah,
But
they
it's
make her
like,
out to be like like an ancient hag, and then I had to
Yeah.
look it up, and I'm like, wait, she's only a couple years older than me. Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking about here?
Well, I think
And
Shirley
I'm
MacLaine in
young.
this. Yeah, and Shirley MacLaine, I think, is 15 years old in this movie.
I knew
don't
she
know.
looks so
Do not know.
young.
Way too young for that lead actor. My God, that was
yeah.
really upsetting.
Well,
That was the most
okay.
upsetting thing in the movie.
Well,
Yeah.
well, not back in those days. I do
Yeah.
believe you're talking
Yeah.
about John Forsythe,
Yeah,
as Sam Marlowe, who is also the voice of Charlie from Charlie's Angels. But you know,
Oh.
it's like she sees, you know, there's the dead body, and then yeah, my next note is like, "Come over and have some muffins, you sexy murdering bastard." She's like, I was like, what's going on here? But then, yeah, it just starts like escalating and escalating and escalating to the point that one of my next notes is like, remind me to never go to Vermont because these people
At
are
one point,
just cool with killing, burying, and murdering, like no problem.
yeah.
did you guys think at one point the entire movie was going to be set on this ridge with all of people, like all of it taking place around this dead body?
For the
Because
for
I
the first
worried for
20
a minute.
minutes.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no. I was like,
Very
oh, it's going to be
much.
one of these? Yeah. But then
Yeah.
they go into
Yeah.
town and
Well, we have Gravely come, and then we got Shirley MacLaine and her boy because the boy found the dead body, and then sort of the boy comes up and goes, "Look, Mum, it's the body," and she's like, "Oh, it's Harry. Good." And she's like, "All right, we're gonna go get some lemonade. Don't worry about the trauma." And I'm like,
well,
so
they have this
she's
whole
not
thing. He's like, no,
reacting.
he's just having a great big sleep. And the boy's like, I want to have a great big sleep. And I was like, oh boy,
You
on
were like,
board. Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say. Ryan was like, I hope so.
Uh-huh. Stop actually rubbing my hands. Yeah.
And it just snowballs and snowballs. Another character, and then we get to that like this is when it starts getting ridiculous. As this guy comes up that we later discover is the doctor, just happens to be walking this way while reading a book.
Right reading. Yeah.
Literally trips over the body, picks up his glasses, and continues walking like nothing's happened. And honestly, at that point is where, like, again, that whole stage show thing, that if you were watching this in a theater in London in 1955 with a full audience, they would be
Cackling,
Whoa,
yeah.
holy ridiculous!
It would be like the
level.
Dewey Cox concert
Yeah.
where people lose their fucking minds, ripping their clothes off and getting into fist fights.
Yeah.
It was the most outrageous. But like, I was trying to picture myself like sitting in the theater, this being painted as a comedy because I watched this after Super Troopers, which is somehow less of a comedy, I guess you could say. So I was like, yeah, I could see this being edgy and different for its time, you know, especially for being a Hitchcock movie who's known for making these like murdery thriller bits. But
Yeah.
it still had that signature Hitchcock horniness.
It's pervasive.
Yeah.
Horniness. I because you texted that and I was like, all right, well, we'll see. And I'm like, wow, no, he's not wrong. It's like it gets pretty direct. I mean, like
They
so
skirt that line so well, like innuendos and like little things they would say. But I was like, okay.
well, no,
all right.
because all right, okay, so we have the hobo comes over, hobo trips, finds the dead body, steals
That
the
was
shoes.
right.
Okay, plot point. But yes, the very next scene is like so Miss Gravely, like we said, who's invited the potential murderer over for muffins to cross her threshold. Is then in the only store in town, and she's trying to buy a teacup. And it's a conversation about the girthiness of this teacup and the size of a man's finger, like, and how important a finger is, especially on a man. And I want to make sure his finger's gonna fit. And I'm like going, are you fucking kidding me? What are you? Why is this scene still going? Why am I currently masturbating? You know, it's just like, no, it was ridiculous. And I'm like, from the 1955 standard as well. Like, it's like really like, what am I watching right now?
But even before that, you get the introduction to Mr. Marlowe, who's this tormented artist. I guess.
Yeah.
A
He
great
walks up
singer.
because he's trying to sell his paintings at this booth outside of like the general store, to which there's like they allude that there's no traffic. Like all the people live in this town. There's 20 people, and they all stumble across this dead body. But she's like, "Oh, where's your newest piece, Mr. Marlowe?" And he brings out this painting, and it's just shapes, and he's got all these like abstract, like Mondrian style or Matisse style paintings, and he hands it to
Right.
her. She's like, "Oh wow." He's like, "Yeah, I was going through some shit. I was really troubled." And it's just like a landscape, and the bit where she's holding it and he flips it
Yeah.
upside down, I was like, "That's pretty funny."
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
then
no,
he
she
goes,
goes,
"I
I
have a."
really like this one. He goes, yeah, turns it all over. Yeah,
But
no.
then he goes, he's like, he goes to buy a pack of this fucked me up. He goes to buy a pack of cigarettes, proceeds to cut them in half horizontally, and he's like, "I'll come back for the other half tomorrow." I'm like, why would you just take? I don't smoke
You
tiny
could,
littles.
well,
What?
yeah, I didn't that must be a fit. There was a lot of things in this movie where I'm like, I guess I had to be around in the 50s because I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of that in this movie. And as in terms of the horniness, I was just like, I think I said to you guys, it was like somebody who's never had sex but has read about it in a Jay Leno joke book. It was like that
Yeah.
kind of like horniness, like somebody who like an alien trying to
Yeah.
like
The
flirt
penis
with
goes
you.
where?
Yeah. It just very odd. But then remembering it was Hitchcock, I'm like, oh well, he did a lot of unwanted advances on people, so I can understand why he thinks this is sexy. Got it.
Well,
I don't
apparently he
know.
was taking Shirley MacLaine out every day, but it was purely platonic.
No,
No, but like
no,
apparently there was he was just saw her as a little skinny woman that needed to be fed, is the way that he sort of
Now,
no.
described
Shirley, what do you think of this tea mug?
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
The girth of a
Is
man's finger is
is the
very
girthiness
important.
appropriate?
Oh.
Why, Alfred? Why is your dick out? This is my hitched cock.
There we go.
That's the shirt.
There's the promo
It's
again.
gonna be instead of the outline of his face, it's just gonna be the
Oh, yeah.
outline of his dick.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock presents.
Oh, dear.
Alfred's hitched cock.
Oh, stop talking.
They
It's
make
too
that
good.
shirt.
I mean, like, yeah, this honestly, like I said, this movie actually, it kind of won me over. And the longer it went, it was winning me over because I actually, honestly, like I said, whereas Super Troopers 2 had me laughing at the beginning, and by the end, it's just trying to find its way to the credits. This
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
these little things are put out there, these little moments, these little suggestions are put there, and it all comes together in the final scene in what I will admit was a very entertaining one.
I see. I thought this movie ends, and then there's 30 more minutes,
Yeah.
and then it ends. Like
Yeah,
I was like, oh, they
yeah.
wrapped this whole thing up perfectly, and then you get that twist of the shopkeeper's son discovering the hobo who found the shoes, and he describes the corpse, and then he finds the drawing. So you get this, like, I was like, oh my god, there's 30 more minutes of this shit, because he sells like, it all wraps it up, like everyone's happy. You have the captain with the woman, you have him selling his paintings to the one wealthy guy that shows up, and great, it's done. And then let's do a bit more.
But that's actually kind of like sort of what I appreciate.
cool,
Is that
yeah,
it gives us this whole extra sort of like this scene. I mean, like at this point, like my notes are just this movie is fucking weird. That's when
Yes.
I texted Will because you were about 45 minutes behind me when you started watching. I was like, Will, you're getting into something. But yes, you were talking about the idea that that Miss Gravely, the 42-year-old, is potentially also a maiden, a virgin. And then they're talking about it again in the strangely horny way that she's a very well preserved lady, but preserves need to be opened one day. And I'm just like, what are we doing? This is
As he's like just fingering a bowl of jam, like a
Right.
jam, like what are you?
You almost want to see
Not-
the Wayne's World version of the scene where
Yeah.
Yeah.
there'd be visual double entendre.
Was Hitchcock a squelching pioneer? Who's to say? But you get, like, then you get the bit because Mr. Marlowe is like fawning over the young widow, and then you get the most insane trade sequence I've ever seen on film, where he just has a frog in a bag, and then a young boy presents him with a dead rabbit, which he's just fucking like
Like,
twirling
oh,
around.
thanks, I'll take that rabbit, and then I'll take
Sure.
the frog, and then the kid takes the rabbit back, and he goes, you never know when you're going to need a dead rabbit. And then he goes and trades that for a couple of muffins as well. But like, yeah, no, but there's also like, so as far as the sort of like the bristling sexuality below the surface that's bubbling over, then there is a bit that isn't actually referenced as being quite like directly, ooh, about this movie being specifically direct is the fact that yes, John Marlowe, so John Forsyth character, meets Shirley MacLaine, Miss Rogers, and he's like, "Oh, you're a pretty one. I would love to paint you nude."
Yeah.
And he's just like pulling her dress, and like this is the first time they've met. And
Yeah.
Shirley
Yeah.
MacLaine is just saying, "Oh, you're a character, aren't you?" You know,
He has a line that's like, "I love the way your mouth says good." Just some like weird, like it's the you could tell like because there was no MPAA right back then, so you could really there's like very little you can kind of get away with, especially when it came to like sexualizing things in films back then.
Mhm.
So you can really feel that Hitchcock really pushing the envelope with some of this dialogue.
Yeah.
So
Even
actually,
today,
this
I
whole
was
scene.
like, I was clutching my pearls.
I
watching
want to
this
talk about this scene again for just the peculiar nature with which people react to sort of news. Is that like Marlowe is like, "Oh, who's that dead man?" And Shirley MacLaine goes, "My husband, lemonade." You know,
Yeah.
someone's like, wait, what? Then yeah, he goes, "Oh, I like your mouth," and that's when I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then she references that her previous husband, who is Harry's brother, died, and he's like, "Oh, I hope he died peacefully." And she goes, "He died in a tragic threshing accident." Morty,
What?
and I'm like,
Yeah.
"What is?
Yeah,
Am I
weird.
on drugs right now?" I felt like I'd
Yeah.
taken the drugs from Super Troopers, and I'm
That's
watching
just what
this.
acting was back then. Like, there's no. It was
That
fucking bizarre.
that's where the movie was really kind of I was so baffled by it because there's a lot of like I might be missing some cultural context for how movies were back, but I've seen 50s movies, so I'm just kind of like I don't know if this is just the writing, the acting choice, but this comes off as bizarre as opposed to like funny.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's just because stylistically humor has moved in a certain way, or does Hitchcock not know what he's doing with comedy?
So okay. So my next note is something that I want to get into. I'm very interested to see the pair of yours reaction to this potential idea. But we're in a movie with a dead guy. Potentially people have or haven't, may have deliberately or deliberately not, like, or accidentally killed this guy. Everyone's kind of involved. It's all a little bit sexy. There's all this kind of interplay going on. And
Dead Man on Campus from
my
1990.
next note was this would make a great Tarantino movie. Quentin Tarantino directing this movie.
Well, Paul Dano wouldn't be in it.
Ooh, I was gonna
Dude, that has been
Yeah.
like everyone has been talking about. Wow, Paul Dano is the first guy to get reverse cancelled.
Yeah.
Like Tarantino is just like makes some flippant comment about this guy, and the entire internet and movie industry has come to his defense, going, "Shut the fuck up, Quentin."
Yeah.
I just wanted the live feed of like Paul Dano sitting down to eat like cereal, and he just turns on his TV, and it's like when Tarantino is talking, and he's just like,
It's just
What?
the Norm Macdonald SNL sketch on repeat.
yeah,
What
what's
did
happening?
I do?
Yeah.
Why does he cite this as like one of his inspirations for Kill Bill?
Dude, no, this in this point, like as I'm watching the movie, going, this, it feels like Tarantino would make a movie like this, as in, but like add the craziness of it, add the
Yeah.
Inglorious Bastards in there, and the Kill Bill, and the vibrant colors, and the murder, and it's because its movie is making such bizarre choices that I'm like,
Yeah.
I could
It
see the
would-
Pulp
it-
Fiction characters kind of like making a lot of the same choices.
I was thinking like this would be better as like a who done it, but it's more of a who fucking cares. You know, like
Yeah,
with
I
that-
am very disinterested in like actually solving what happens to
because they
Harry.
reveal halfway through that it was like the Mrs. whomever
Gravely.
the fuck like
About-
bonked
yeah,
him,
so-
bonked
no,
him
so
over the head
about-
with a shoe, right?
2/3 the way through, yes. So Miss Gravely comes over. At this point, we've buried him, dug him up, buried him, and dug him up again and buried him.
I do like the bit where Mr. Marlowe goes up to paint and he's like sketching and draws the thing and then draws 2 feet,
Yes.
looks at it, then looks at what he's drawing and realizes there's a body there.
Yeah, that was so stupid. He comes up and he's just drawing the view, and he draws the thing, and he draws the feet, looking at the feet to draw them, and then looks at the feet to. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking. But
That's
then again-
not how art works.
Yeah, it's this movie's equivalent of the Bohemian Rhapsody being like, everyone stop, boom boom,
Yeah,
boom, and then they write a song. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same logic. So stupid.
Well, look, it's as I said, it does like get a little bit more complicated. It turns out that Miss Gravely had hit him over the head with a shoe, but he had been attempting to accost her or maybe potentially sort of attack her, rape her. But then we find out he'd also been like discombobulated by getting hit over the head by Shirley MacLaine, who was actually her wife, who had run away and changed her identity because he wasn't much of a husband. Who was Ryan just started like, oh, my eyes have gone funny. It's
No,
like,
I also, every time they tried to explain Harry's backstory, I glazed over and I was like, what? I don't, huh? Like,
so then they finally decide that it's all in everybody's best interest, because then we get to the point that, like I said, it's only gone over one day. We've been at this for about 16 hours.
Which is crazy. This body has been dug up, buried and dug up in it's like 3 or 4 times
in one day. And then Marley's like, I just met you this morning and I buried a dead guy with you, but I love you. And so now he's in love with Shirley MacLaine.
Who has a track record for men she likes dying? Like, why would you? He's like, well, third time's a charm.
And he doesn't like her kid at all. So
the day for night
that I related to.
Jarring. Did you notice that part?
So the day for night. Yeah,
they go up the hill. They bury him again. They're walking back down, and it's much like the day for night. Then we were in the town that feared sundown.
Right. Yeah.
That it's just a blue sky,
blue filter.
And it's not even a fucking filter. It's like they just go, oh, it's very bright tonight. I go, yeah, because the sun's up, motherfucker. That's not the moon. It's like, no, the people will believe us. It's just nighttime. They just didn't, I guess Technicolor film just had no ability to shoot in low light conditions or something like that.
Where you can get away with that in like a black and white film. You can kind of mask that, or at least shoot it in studio. But,
well, because also black and white film picks up light differently. It processes.
But they were utilizing that vignette, like that view of the mountains and the trees and everything. But then they would cut back to that one tree where they kept hiding, which was clearly on a stage.
Yeah,
yes,
apparently yes. So they had they were shooting in Vermont a lot. Had a lot of trouble with weather. Had to sort of shoot some stuff inside, but then they were shooting it inside a school. And the rain was making so much noise, so there was a lot of ADR that you noticed a couple of times.
I did notice.
But then they had to sort of do some stuff in California on the sound stages where they said they had painstakingly taken all of these leaves from Vermont and just one by one. Wow. Because it looked very fucking similar.
It did.
And and credit to the set dressers and stuff like that. That I'm like, when we are cutting from real Vermont to the studio, the only thing that's giving it away is a certain stillness that you get.
They're very tight on a lot of those shots, and the background sky, you're just like, that's a wall.
But still, like the colors and the I was really impressed. Like I said, I was very very impressed by the production on this film. And then
definitely
what I really liked is where we get to that end scene. So like I said, everyone's decided it's all in everyone's best interest as they just fucking ignore the body, right? They're just gonna, but now suddenly the sort of sheriff or the co-sheriff or what deputy sheriff, he's found the shoes on the hobo. He's heard a description. He's noticed the picture. So now the state police are coming, and it's this kind of ridiculous scene of, all right, they've had to dig up the body again, but also clean off all the dirt from all the burying. So that they can then, but then the doctor comes up. So now they've got a doctor coming for
the doctor,
a post-mortem.
Who's the guy that kept tripping over the feet. Yeah.
And so they're trying to clean the body. They're trying to clean the clothes. And then this is the thing that I'm going to give Hitchcock credit for, is he sets up Chekhov's cupboard, which is this cupboard door that keeps randomly opening throughout the film. It's happened like 3 times. And suddenly the cop turns up and they've quickly cleaned up, and you've got Marlowe leaning against the cupboard, and of course the whole scene is played out like they're hiding the body in the cupboard. And so there's all this tension for the scene, there's all this stuff going on, the guy's questioning him, and just as it looks like they're getting away from it, the cupboard door opens, this noise happens, everyone turns around, the fucking cupboard's empty. And then you get the twist of then the kid opens the door going, why is he in the bathtub? And then it's the callback to, oh, his frog's in there. Like I said, all those stupid random things that make no sense pay off in about 3 minutes worth of twist. And I was like, okay.
Still, it's like getting there is just so poorly telegraphed that by the time that happened, I was very disinterested. Because again, like in my mind, I'm like, this should have ended 30 minutes ago. It would have been a totally fine little romp. And now I'm like, not invested in the Knives Out of the knives outification of it all. Like
I
if
totally
this
was
did
because
have
even
like a Benoit Blanc type character instead of this hillbilly son, like
yeah,
noodling around,
Yeah.
taking 45 minutes to call the police. I just didn't care anymore.
even the doctor that just like didn't seem to really want to ask any
Yeah.
questions about this dead body.
There's good
But no,
bits though.
like the other bit, like with the kid, like again, about 40 minutes in when he's talking about today, yesterday, and tomorrow. It
The
just like this, he's
fucking
confused about today's, but they're like, no, no, hang on.
The Abbott and Costello mini sequence,
Well,
like
we
that
stick the
was
body back up, let the kid find him. He'll say he found it yesterday, which is today, because he thinks tomorrow was the day after the day before. I don't care, guys. That's
sure.
good. It's good shit.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I'm not saying it's not good. I was just saying I was so just checked out by that point that I didn't
Really?
quite care anymore.
Will, what about you? You love weird old movies, you big old weirdo.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, but this was a little bit too weird for me. I don't know. I was kind of on the same page as Ryan with that kid and like, well, today is tomorrow and tomorrow and I was just like, I don't care. Like whatever. This kid's got no future in acting, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Um
Who was
the
that kid?
the kid is the Beaver from Leave It to Beaver.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I
so
was waiting for Marlo to go, well, tomorrow I'm going to cross your mother's threshold.
yeah.
What?
Now we're talking. No, but so that's who the kid is. But
I'm your daddy now.
But
Yeah,
the
then-
only thing I kept thinking was I was like, man, if we could like take this kid and the kid from Shane,
Yeah.
put them both in a rocket,
True,
and
true
launch 'em
detective.
off-
Oh,
yes,
okay, yeah. Oh, okay.
yeah,
That too, for
True
sure.
yeah, sure. I don't know. And the plot overall, it was getting to a point where it's so convoluted, and the witty banter back and forth, witty and heavy quotes, just really read to me like somebody is trying to do Billy Wilder and they are just missing like left and right.
Mm.
It was like the line I will say. So the way I watched the movie is my roommate has this like Hitchcock. You can't really see it on camera here. Has this Hitchcock box set with 14 of his movies.
Wow.
And so watching this on Blu-ray, gorgeous transfer. But the quote that's in here is, what did your husband look like when he was alive? I'm like, oh, pretty much the same, only he was vertical. Where I'm like,
Pretty good.
okay. And that is like to me the funniest line in the movie. And I'm like, I see that why that's the quote, but the rest of the dialogue is kind of like that.
Well, it's not real dialogue is the thing.
Yeah.
Is like people don't talk or act this way. It's like I said, it's everything's a little bit heightened. Interesting you say this about it being the box set. Go for it, Will.
Oh, I was gonna say, now just saying that out loud, now I just remember it's the Gilmore Girls problem where everybody talks like the same exact character, and it just feels like the writer talking. It doesn't feel like characters talking, and
There
I
you
think
go.
that's what bothered me about
That's
the
a
movie.
really good point, actually. Everybody talks the same shit.
And Miss Maisel
Yeah.
has the same kind. It's the same creators. It's got a similar type of feel. Everyone's got a very
It
North
sometimes that
Atlantic
can work.
type of cadence. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
But-
that style can really work, but in this case, it doesn't. Because I'm not saying Gilmore Girls is a bad show. I'm just saying it feels like one writer writing everybody.
It makes me wonder though if this for that time period was considered like an alternative comedy. Like I don't know what other comedies were doing back then, and then for Hitchcock to kind of do a 180 and be like, well, I'm going to do this
Well,
type of comedy.
Like this
Okay.
was this generation's election or something. Like
Well,
Right,
there you
exactly.
go.
Yeah,
Well, funny
yeah,
enough,
yeah.
you're saying that is that it kind of is. Hitchcock was taking a bit of an experiment. The way
Mhm.
they sort of get into it is that first of all, he wanted to see if you could make a movie without a big star attached, whether that was going to, like, one, are people going to bring it in? He also felt like, that having a big star kind of like hinders the narrative and flow of the story because you have like preconceived conceptions of what that character is going to be because that actor or actress is attached to it. And he also then developed the movie to see how audiences, American audiences in particular, would respond to a more subtle brand of black humor. So it's a bit dark, it's a bit weird, it is a bit out there that like I think that this movie, that's a really great example actually, Ryan, because I remember seeing Election the first time and like liking it but not sure, like not quite getting it at the same time, going, man, this is kind of weird and it's
Right.
kind of like sort of off. It feels like a bit off kilter. Like, is this supposed to be
Definitely.
funny? This is kind of dark, kind of thing. So, yes, I think that actually that's what this was Hitchcock kind of trying to sort of give it a go. And then also, Will, like you saying, watching it on your buddy's box set, is this was one of the movies that was lost for like nearly 4 decades or something like that because of like a
Mhm.
very specific sort of
Oh
rights
wow.
issue. Um, so they were brought back. So actually, there was it was re-released. This movie was
By
re-released.
YK Kim.
Yes, in Miami Connection. No, but honestly, around the same time, it was re-released in theaters in 1984.
Wow. Oh shit.
Because it
Okay.
was kind of like refound. The other ones involved were Rope, Rear Window, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and Vertigo.
Oh
So all
shit.
those.
Oh,
Where
okay.
where does this fall in the timeline of his filmography, I wonder?
This is 55. It's the year after Rear Window, and the year
Shit.
before The Man Who Knew Too Much.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
like it's right at him, at Hitchcocking like a
I mean, I can appreciate him taking like for a director taking a swing like that and trying something out. And again, like you'd have to, it was really hard for me to try and place myself mentally in this time period because I was born 30 years later. And so I physically couldn't. It's just impossible, you guys. Like you can't. But I'm like, sure, people, I wonder how this was received to be a fly on the wall in the theater with people watching this movie, like either losing their minds, not understanding it. What is this?
So
It's kind of interesting.
no, interesting you bring that up because that's exactly where I was about to go with this. Is that it was regarded as a failure in the US, but it played for a year in the UK and a year and a half in France. So like that
Of
kind of
course
like
they loved it. Yeah.
random sort of esoteric sort ofness, like honestly, because like I
Like they
said,
get
this
it. Yeah.
this felt very British in the like I
Interesting.
said, a British farce, a British like I
Mhm.
said, it felt like a British stage play that all of the people would be cracking up at. Oh, this is very they all tried to get rid of the body kind of thing. So that like when it was re-released domestically, it was actually better received because the foreign markets had actually gone, no, this is actually quite funny and quite out there and a little
Hmm.
bit subversive to what you're expecting. So it's like it's almost like it's like Marty McFly finishing his guitar solo in 1955, the same year, and going, "You guys just aren't ready for this yet, but your kids are
But
gonna
you,
love
you podcasters are also going to dislike it very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Weird that he said that. Um,
it."
I can see if this was a full-on British movie, I could actually see like
Yeah.
more British like actors and comedians like doing this, and
Monty Python's The Trouble with Harry.
yeah, I can see it actually playing a lot better for
Yeah.
me.
Well, actually, it goes a step further because this was based off a novel
Hmm.
published in 1949, set in post-war England.
See,
Interesting.
okay, that might make with that context, that makes more sense because of course they're not going to react to just a dead body. They'd be like, yeah, it was just we've been bombed for like years
Exactly. Yeah.
straight.
Is
Of
it just
course, you
is it
know.
German? Is it
Yeah, I could totally see
like
the British being like, ah, dead body. What are we gonna do with this one? You know,
exactly? You're not
so
wrong.
Yeah.
Just you
so
come across
that
random
makes more
bodies in the
sense.
Throw it in the
country.
pile with the rest of them. Yeah.
Right. So that context makes it make more sense to me.
Yeah.
Whereas like Vermont, I'm like, you know, do a lot of people die in the maple syrup machines? Like I don't
You know,
quite get the
this is actually very interesting. You're so right, Will. Is it like because you know even the score has this kind of like an English quality to it, an English country sound to it.
Yeah.
That it's
I,
almost like sort of an Americanized version of a British TV show, but they haven't updated like because you're so right. The Vermont
Mhm.
nature of it is weird, but if you set this in England, none of this is strange.
Right.
mm, yeah,
It's
that's
the
true.
dryness of the humor makes more
I,
sense
I'm
in that.
glad you brought up the score of it because that was also pretty jarring. Like if this had a more ominous, different score, it would feel like an entirely different movie. You know?
It would feel closer to like a Coen Brothers movie, which I think is why we
Yes.
picked it, is because the
Yeah,
premise
true.
feels like a Coen Brothers film. Like a crime happens and a bunch of people who are bad at it are like trying to figure out how to solve the issue.
It does sound
It,
like the inspiration for that too, doesn't it?
but the music is just from a totally different bonkers
Yeah.
kind of movie, like or sitcom-y very, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Or
but
slapsticky at times. Because even with
yeah,
the opening, you get the shot of the young boy with this weirdly futuristic space Tommy gun, which I
Yeah, it's
thought was very
great.
yeah,
cool.
It
it
was
was kind of
dope.
cool. Yeah,
It was very cool. So
I
much.
was
It's
like,
the only thing I remembered.
yeah, I was kind of like, I would definitely have that as a kid. That's awesome.
So
Yeah.
like Bernard Herrmann, or Bernard, not sure, but he's the one that did the
Oh
score.
wow.
He's the only score he ever did for a comedy. Though late in life he lamented that he didn't get a chance to work more. He lifted some of the music that he'd composed from a radio series called Crime Classics as well. But yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Everyone was just, it seems in this particular case, people were trying something new.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I said, they're bringing in all these different elements. They're trying a different sort of humor. They're trying a different sort of approach. And it's like, it's really interesting actually that like this, I actually enjoyed this movie. This is a movie that, like I said, I was so confused once I sort of got into, oh, I think I get it now, you know, of it. And then when it all came together at the end, and I think it's maybe just the British part of me is like, I started realizing, oh wait, this is kind of like a British farce.
You're British?
Man, you should put that on a branding or something. I don't know.
But like, I'm kind of interested that like for me, Super Troopers 2 felt like just okay, it's a movie.
Yeah,
and, like, the fact that you guys both are having a pretty similar reaction to the Trouble with Harry is quite interesting to me.
Yeah, I think for me, I definitely recommend this movie. I think I would enjoy the movies that it inspired more. There's like a lot I didn't enjoy with this movie, but I can see like all the pieces are there. And there was just maybe I was just in the wrong headspace, or I watched at the wrong time, but I just didn't. It just didn't stick with me that much.
I will say, it did stick with me, kind of like you, Ollie. I have thought about this movie quite a lot since I finished watching it. It has like stuck around my head. I don't know that I enjoyed it, but going to your point, Ryan, I might have just been in a bad headspace for it and might have just had the wrong expectations. So maybe if I take some distance and rewatch this again, maybe I'll feel different.
I was gonna say if you guys picture yourself watching this a second time, and now that you pointed out Election, which is the perfect analogy for type of movie. Had I thought of that maybe going into this, I would have
readjust your expectations.
It definitely, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go watch Election later, which is one of the few movies I own on DVD.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, I think in many ways. It's a problem I often sort of have cited as well from my own sort of movie going experiences, is walking in with a preconceived notion. Now, as much as I didn't know much about this movie, I walked in with a preconceived notion of, well, this director, you know, Hitchcock, and like I said, the few movies that I have seen of his, like, you know, like I said, I thought Rear Window was an absolute masterpiece, and just like knowing he's got this sort of legendary sort of like thing that I go, I thought I knew what I was getting into, and it took me 40 minutes to figure out what I was watching.
Have you ever seen Mel Brooks's High Anxiety?
No.
Yes.
Which is basically
Vertigo, right?
It's Vertigo. It's a pastiche on every Hitchcock movie. That there's a scene where he parodies The Birds, Psycho when he's in the bathtub. It is like, as far as pastiche comedies go, like Your Naked Guns and stuff like that, it is one of the best.
It's really good. For some reason, the sequence in that movie that sticks in my head is where he's a baby. But it's Mel Brooks, and so, but just everything else is giant size.
Yes,
compared to
that
him.
was great. It's the bit with the birds where he's sitting on a park bench and he's like noticing all of the birds and they just all start shitting on him.
Yes.
And he's just trying to escape, just covered head to toe in bird shit. It's fucking hysterical.
Okay. It's really good. Very underrated.
Yes.
Like
one of the best.
Mel Brooks. Yeah.
I may have to watch that. Though I will say that the best movie Mrs. and I watched this week was Hot Fuzz. we rewatched Hot Fuzz this week, and you know, when it comes to pastiches, when it comes to Hot Fuzz is still
one of my top 5. Yeah.
It's maybe I cry from pure happiness and laughter every time I'm watching that movie, and I know it's magical to me.
I just watch it for the greater good.
The greater good. Well, it's one of anyone, if anyone ever says that in real life
every time
or in a movie,
you have to.
I immediately
the greater good.
Yeah, it's not like you pointed out a great big bushy beard.
Big bushy beard. My favorite line reading ever.
Man, did that movie rule?
That's one of the best. I'm gonna have to put that on.
Yeah,
it was so worth it. She chose it the other night. Like, we were just trying to find a movie, and I'm just dropping names. She goes, "Yeah, Hot Fuzz," and I go, "Yeah, okay, Hot Fuzz."
Yeah,
but she won't watch Master and Commander.
No, she won't because she's crazy. Though maybe she'll watch the pastiche that we make.
No, hang on, Seaman!
Exclamation mark! Who's going to be the greatest?
No context for the podcast audience. You guys just have to live with that.
Yeah.
The T-shirt's going to be great. Though I will say this much: that you know, when it comes down to the core of what we are trying to do here at the United States for a movie, to find a movie that really does define a
Oh, we're
state.
just not even going to talk about Super Troopers 2.
No, we did. We talked
We
about Super
kind of.
Troopers 2 for
Okay.
like 10
What is
minutes.
there to say?
Fair enough. Okay.
It's
I
like,
think my only other note for Super Troopers was
It's
in
free on
terms
YouTube.
it's free on YouTube, and the fact that it's a repeat of the same plot, except for the only thing about the plot from the first movie is at least it had a cartoon monkey and banana, like some sort of iconography that they were able to use. This didn't even have that, so I mean,
But we got Flova Scotia, which is
we did
maybe
get
the
Flova
funniest fucking
Scotia,
drug ever.
which does make men lactate. So
well, I
Yeah.
will actually go, we'll
But-
tell about, because when I watched it, because it was hard to find, I rented the movie. Both of you had a different experience for Super Troopers 2, which other people at home may have had as well. So why don't you guys, did you guys actually consider that you did actually watch the movie, or did you listen to the audiobook?
What?
wait,
When you
hold on.
watched it on YouTube, you barely had any ability to see.
Oh, it was just, it was
Pretty
just,
much. Oh,
yeah, it was.
I thought you were about
just-
to blow my mind that there's a novel adaptation.
that
I
Will
don't
doesn't
know.
own yet.
Yeah.
But I am fascinated that this is now going to get a third one next year.
With
And it's got
Cox
Brian
again.
Cox, Nikki Cox, Courtney Cox, Dewey Cox. All of the Coxes are back.
So many cocks will be in your face as you watch the third movie.
Overflowing with Cox.
And you didn't go with Hitchcock's?
Oh, damn it.
Let's take that again.
Yeah.
Brian Cox.
Let's go back. Yeah, there's not much to say. I do recommend Super Troopers 2 just because it's, you know me, and like these kind of like big budget comedies, even though this is $5 million, but like these kind of like comedies where it's real hit or miss for me. The fact that a sequel even got me to laugh, that means it's probably worth watching. It will not change your life in any substantial way, but it does make fun of Canadians, and you gotta love it for that.
At the very least, just watch the cold open of the movie. That's
Oh,
really all
definitely.
you need, because that was fucking
The
hysterical.
cold open is fantastic. Yeah.
I
God.
did see
We
one
almost
part.
we were so close to getting them to kiss.
Yeah.
But it was just the running bit, and then it ends, and he's like, "I can't believe it was Stifler and Damon Wayans." Like, I was like, "Wait, what the fuck is happening?" And it just wakes to a dream. It was great. Good
Yeah.
comedy. 10 comedy points.
I
Yep.
also like so Jay Chandrasekhar said he refused to shoot the movie. Like I said, 17 years later, until everybody got back to the same weight they were in the first movie for continuity. I was
They
like,
all looked, honestly, they all looked pretty much the same. Even
Yeah.
Brian Cox.
I mean,
Well,
like
well, we did watch it in 240p, so maybe so that definitely
Well,
helped.
Yeah.
that
the only
smudge
way.
that sounded like, yeah. But like, no,
I don't-
exactly. The Super Troopers 2 isn't doing anything that Super Troopers didn't do.
It's certainly not more Vermont than the first
Yeah,
one.
I'd almost say like the first one is, and that's actually kind of like why it won. You know, like with the maple syrup downing, like Vermontness of it all.
I did have a
Second one
question,
is a
though.
bit more Canadian. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So, Linda Carter, famously playing Wonder Woman, right back in the day, she looked unbelievable in this movie. I know she was in
Yeah.
the first one, but was she like 14 years old when she did fucking Wonder Woman? It makes no sense.
No kidding. Like, my God.
I was like,
She
Yeah,
looked
I was
amazing.
actually thrown because I saw something else online talking about how when she turned up in I only saw it once, but Wonder Woman 2 or Wonder Woman 1984, she is digitally de-aged
oh.
in that particular case, and so
Which
when
everyone loves. Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But when
Universally favorite technique.
when she turned up in this movie, I'm like, they didn't
looks better.
want you. I know exactly. I was like,
Yeah.
what? And then I was
Now,
looking, what
again,
year was
that
this
could
movie?
be that could be the 240p talking.
Right. That
But at
could.
least in Wonder Woman 1984, they could have just put her in a backwards hat. Like, what are we doing?
Well, look, I will say this. Hello, young people.
Yeah.
No, because I watched it in HD, and so 2018 is when this one was made, and like Wonder Woman was made in like 2021. She looked incredible, but yeah,
I meant the
that
TV
woman-
show Wonder Woman.
I know.
Like,
No, I'm
it's
just what I'm talking
crazy.
about. Is like she did. She was astoundingly beautiful. Still, just
Yeah.
absolutely like she is Wonder Woman. In so many ways.
They might have done that because then the audience might have had, in Wonder Woman 1984, they might have digitally messed with her face a little bit because the audience would have had the question of, why didn't she just cast Linda Carter again in this? Why are we even bothering with this? Why do you have to cast a younger person?
That's
So
true. I haven't given that movie another go, and I don't think I will.
I will say real quick, I am fond of that movie. I don't say I like it. I am fond of it because it was like the last time my entire family, like we had rented out a theater because this is back when Alamo was doing that.
Oh,
And so my grandma, and like our entire extended family had a theater to ourselves to watch that movie. So I am fond of it.
Hmm.
I can never really hate it. That said, it's not
Wait, did you rent? I'm sorry. Did you rent the theater specifically for that movie?
it was the only
Or
movie that was playing in
oh, okay, okay.
theaters.
I
Because it
was
was
like,
because of
yeah.
COVID. It was a COVID.
that's
Yeah.
inexcusable. I'm like, you could have shown them Ricky O, and you went.
Oh, if I had a
Wonder Woman
choice of
1984.
movies, yeah. Alamo was not giving me an option of
Oh, God.
movies.
Oh, thank God! I was gonna have a fucking full blown panic attack.
No, if I have a chance to hold family members or anybody hostage to watch a movie, they're watching Ricky O. There's
Uh-huh.
with
So-
a
As
follow up of
they
Miami
should.
Connection and then a hard ticket to Hawaii
yeah,
as well on the side.
absolutely.
But so, like, that being said, like, you know, kind of like where I was going is that, you know, this whole thing is to try and find a movie to define Vermont. And 5 minutes into one of these movies, I already knew which one was going to win.
Like I said, just watch the beginning of Super Troopers 2.
Because it boils it down. No, like in this particular case, I don't think there's even a leg to stand on when it comes to the Super Troopers movies up against the bizarreness that is The Trouble with Harry, that because it is inherently just filled with Vermont,
Oh, yeah.
shot in Vermont.
Like I
Yeah.
said, this movie feels like it was pulled from a Vermont postcard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, like the set, especially like now that we're getting into like the fall season, it's very fall
It was
colors.
perfectly
It
timed.
really,
Yeah.
really was.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I'm watching that movie, and all I'm thinking by like at that point is like, wow, I really, really want to go to Vermont. That place looks beautiful,
So I would say
and they're cool with murder.
yeah,
Yeah.
get
Good
get
to
your
know.
family together, get your neighbors together, get your blueberry muffins, your elderberry wine, pull that fucking corpse over, get those shoes off, and
Yeah.
let's get froggy.
Somebody recut the trailer to Ryan's.
Yeah,
video
that's great.
there.
That was like the back of the DVD, man. That was amazing. That's like a Siskel and Ebert review right there. But you're not wrong, and I don't think like you guys are disagreeing with me that like this.
No, 100%.
I think it's a pretty deserving winner. When it comes, you know, as much as it's been fun, like kind of fun.
Until Super Troopers 3 comes out.
Well,
Yes.
I hate to say it, but I kind of feel like that's exactly what's going to happen when we get
Oh,
around
Absolutely.
to Vermont next year. So while I've got to you, and while we're here, that yes, here at the United States movie, the new champion for the movie that best represents Vermont, at least until Super Troopers fucking 3 comes out, is The Trouble with Harry from 1955, the bizarre, dark comedy from Hitchcock, from Alfred Hitchcock, that honestly, I'd say give it a go. It's weird, it's strange, it's out there, it's bizarre, it's not like it's not bad though. Like I said,
No, it's not. It's
I
not.
quite
It's not.
enjoyed it, and it's if you're
Yeah.
kind of a fan of old movies and you want to get into something random, give that one a go.
Yeah. It's free on YouTube.
And it's free on YouTube. That being said, though, there are other movies that we could have chosen. Yes, we landed on Super Troopers 2 pretty hard last time around.
Yeah.
But there's quite a lot of Vermont movies, a lot of Christmas movies as well. I mean, last time around we
Yeah,
had
White Christmas.
Dead Poet Society, I believe, was
Yeah.
one of the other ones that we had. I can't
Yeah.
remember our third one.
It was the Stepford Wives? No,
This-
that's
no,
next.
that's
It's,
next time
well, oh
around.
my God, maybe the movie that broke all of our brains, Robert Zemeckis' What Lies Beneath.
Oh, shit. Now Super Troopers makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
The movie brought to you by Big Bathtub.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah,
Jeez,
because that
yeah.
movie one just drove us crazy because it cost $200 million, and then the other one, Dead Poet Society, felt like it didn't. It could have been made almost anywhere in the country.
I
Right.
feel like we got a lot of hate for not picking that as a winner, which is
Well, I mean,
which
it's one of the few
understandable.
times where we're right. I mean, and everyone else is wrong.
One of the
God,
ones
what-
that I was interested in, but I understand why we didn't do was Wolf, because Wolf starts in Vermont, but actually takes
Oh,
place
yeah.
in New York. But I've never
It's just
seen
one
it.
scene in Vermont.
And like it's
Oh my
Jack
God.
Nicholson as a werewolf. I mean, like
It's
what?
Jack Nicholson pissing on James Spader.
which I just watched
There's
that
a
scene
scene
on
where he-
repeat. But
Yeah, there's a scene where he pisses on him. And Michelle Pfeiffer, who's famously a cat person. Woman. Right.
we got
Nailed it.
we got there. We got there.
Got it in one.
So I mean, like outside of that one, you know, now that we've, like I said, we've got like a pretty good one with The Trouble with Harry. I mean, there's like the Cider House Rules. Is that right? Another one we almost
Cider House rules.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's like such a Jay and Silent Bob. Yo, you've seen that cider house? It rule. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Stupid.
it's like we almost went with Sucker Punch as well because we were like
Yeah.
wanted to give ourselves like we want to sucker punch ourselves in the dick
We got
by
Yeah.
like
David Mamet's State and Maine.
State and
Okay.
Maine. Don't know that one. Baby
White
Boom
Christmas.
with Diane. Is that Diane Keaton? Like I think it
Which
might.
one?
Yeah, Diane Keaton. Yeah, is Baby Boom apparently. Yes. So basically, Diane Keaton, New York City businesswoman, married to a job, basically has to end up being caretaker for a girl in picturesque Vermont.
All
Sorry,
right.
I'm on the subreddit for movies by state, and I'm just now reading this because I thought it was a real movie, but someone wrote The Count of Vermonte Cristo. Wait, the full Vermonte Python and the Holy Grail, Hannah Vermontana the movie.
This is just Ollie's thread that he created out of burner
Yeah,
Yeah,
account.
was that
yeah.
me, by the way? Yeah. Is that all just saying, yeah, the United States is a movie?
And White Christmas is the one that pops up a lot, which
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Yeah,
Hmm.
White Christmas.
You've heard
set
of
in
black
Vermont.
comedy? Get ready for White Christmas.
Where the Rivers Flow North, a drama in rural Vermont. Ethan Frome, set in Vermont. Trouble
I
with
mean,
Harry, we've
I
done.
I'm gonna make us watch Time Chasers, the low budget time travel movie that takes place and filmed entirely in Vermont. That's gonna be my pick next time.
Well, there's
And
2021's Werewolves Within, which
Oh, I
has
like
got
that one.
Sam
Yeah,
Richardson, which I know
Mm.
you love Sam
I
Richardson.
do, and I've seen that movie. It's based off of a famous video game, but that movie, yeah, I guess it's set in like a it felt like such a COVID movie because it's set in a very small kind
Mm.
of space, but it's very, very funny.
So we have options. We
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have any other sort of Hitchcock options. We do have options. I do though feel this sense like the sword of Damocles of Super Troopers 3 hanging over me.
We
That
have
I
to.
bet the movie is being released right around this time. Like when we
We
get
we
back to
have
it,
to do it.
it's gonna
Yeah.
happen, isn't it? Yeah. So I got a funny feeling we're gonna be getting more Broken Lizard. Though we aren't going to be in Vermont next week. We are going to be in the state that has far too many C's in it. Connecticut.
All of it. Yeah.
Where last time around we actually had the 70 Stepford Wives, right? That's a movie I still
Hmm.
think about. That was a good movie. That was
I
like
liked it.
it was weird. It was crazy. Are we going to do the new Stepford Wives? What are we doing, guys? Which movies are we jumping into?
Well, boys, since Christmas is right around the corner, which I don't celebrate, but I've heard a bit about it. I picked a little movie, a little made-for-TV movie from 1992, which is a remake of another movie from a
A
year
much
which
more-
I'm not,
Jeez.
which a year
Yeah.
I'm not going to guess, 1945. We're picking Christmas in Connecticut, which
I couldn't believe
maybe
this when you
has
told me this.
one of the most insane directorial debuts ever.
I
Like-
couldn't believe this.
I-
Ryan said this right before we started rolling. Like, ladies and gents, if I gave you 10,000 guesses as to who directed this straight TV movie,
Yeah.
Christmas movie starring Chris Christopherson, you'd never guess Ryan.
Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger.
That's right. This is my first movie as a director.
I
come
just
on.
want to see it for the director's commentary. It's a
No
crime that this is
shit.
only made for TV.
I actually just want to watch it so I can watch some behind the scenes. But we are going to watch again the strangest sentence I think I've said for a while: Arnold Schwarzenegger's Christmas in
Christmas
Connecticut. Okay, I'm on
Hell
our
yeah.
non-sponsor sponsor who'll one day become a sponsor. Just watch this movie. I guarantee
It's
is
the
available on
second
YouTube
most.
for free.
It's the second most insane Schwarzenegger Christmas movie.
I'm actually going to go and check and see if it is on YouTube. While I'm
I
doing
looked,
that,
yeah.
Will give us the other movie. I go for it. Yep, the
Oh.
movie that we're doing.
What is the other? Okay, this is why I should write
It's
it
the
down.
debut of a very famous A-list actress with curly red hair.
The star of
Oh,
Ocean's
oh, yeah, yeah.
13.
Yes. No. What? Nope. The other two. Mystic Pizza.
Yeah.
Julia Roberts' film debut.
So I'm looking up Christmas in Connecticut, full movie, and that's a review. It may not be. There's a lot of trailers though. All right, so we'll see what we can do. This is going to be a tricky one to find actually, but we're going to try and do it. So yes, Mystic Pizza from 1988. I believe the debut of some woman called Julia Roberts. Again, I'm on Just Watch right now. It's currently on Hoopla for free. But it's leaving later in the month. It's free with ads on the Roku channel, stuff like that. So I bet this is one you could probably find. Otherwise, it's going to be a rent. So yes, we're heading to Connecticut next time, where we're going to see if the Stepford Wives is still going to be able to hold out Arnold Schwarzenegger and Julia Roberts as we head to Connecticut next time around. Guys, this week was a weird adventure, but one that I wasn't angry about. Like, I quite enjoyed the randomness of this particular one. Though I will say that also this week, Will, the one thing you did miss out on is Ryan did get the personal site tour of Action USA's.
I was gonna ask, man. Okay, I'm so jealous of this trip. Yeah, man.
Like,
I mean, no, I don't care
minutes-
at all. Never mind. It doesn't seem like you guys had fun at all. Like, man,
Yeah.
whatever.
Ryan
It
got
opened
to
with a
experience-
lot of cocaine, a car chase. It was crazy driving around that small town. We kept going. I was like, wait, was that the car park where they jumped the fucking Porsche off the thing? Showed me
Man.
the tower. He dropped me out of a helicopter, which I was not expecting.
We didn't get to go to Melody
We
Ranch.
didn't
though.
go to Melody Ranch. I was thinking that on.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next time. You got to hold something in reserve. I've
We'll
got
have to-
Sunglasses and Melody Branch.
We'll
We
have to
gotta make-
record live from Waco.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a podcast road trip to that bar. Like,
We've all got to dress up as the characters as well. No, guys, it was a fun week.
oh wait, which
You're
I
not
call a
allowed
white
to
guy.
do
I call a
that.
white guy.
It's gonna be entertaining. That's all I know.
I'm
But yes,
doing Drago for sure.
what's that, dude. Oh, now I have to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
Son of a biscuit. No, that was great. Next time, guys, we're going to be heading to Connecticut. Don't forget, you can always find more of Will as Entitled Millennial on Instagram or on TikTok, where very often he's talking about sometimes anime, sometimes Power Rangers, sometimes old movies. You never quite know. But
Sometimes all three at once.
Yeah, I promise I'm gonna get back to From the Shelf. Just a lot of personal things happened that kind of derailed my channel for a bit. It's coming back, especially at the start of the year. We'll be promoting my YouTube as well, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming for that. So
which would be
we'll
great.
get on track. We'll get on track.
You can always find Ryan as Rhino Digital, RYNO Digital. Some of the posters we can't share, some of them we can. We'll put them on our Facebook page, which we'll try to keep up to date, where you can find us at the United States of a Movie. We've also got our Instagram up and running as well. We're going to start cutting some promos and things like that. It's always fun to hear your ideas for the movies you think we should do. Also, your comments on the comments you think we made that were wrong. Outside of that, you can find me as That Englishman in Texas everywhere except for Facebook, where you can find me as Ollie Pettigrew, where I'm usually talking all things Texas, but sometimes I like to talk movies as well. If you're watching us on YouTube and you haven't, do us a favor and subscribe. That would be great. We're trying to slowly build our subscribers. And then if you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple or something like that, it also does us a favor if you take 2 minutes right now and just give us a rating or recommend us to the movie fan in your life. Every now and again, we get to bump into someone who does listen to the podcast. It's really fun to have you guys come along on the journey with us. So come along on the journey next week, where we're heading to Connecticut, where things will get weird, won't get weird. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger directing a Christmas movie. I'm pretty sure it's going to get fucking bizarre. So from me, from Will, and from Ryan, thanks for joining us for this episode of the United States of Movie Podcast. We will see you next time.